Hi guys, today I'm coming to you with an updated foundation routine. It's been a little while and I wanted to show you some new products, I've been testing them out now behind the scenes for probably 2 months, but a line that was newer to me that I've really been loving, and this video is sponsored by and in partnership with Dr. Belmer. If you're not familiar with the brand, it is a Korean brand that uses mild plant-based ingredients that are still effective, because that's very important, but also suitable for sensitive skin. So I'm going to be showing you a few items that I've been loving from them, and then we're going to get into my foundation routine. My skin is like pretty glowy and clear relatively. As somebody who has acne prone skin, this is my version of it, but I ultimately want my foundation to look natural and kind of even things out, but I'm not looking to cover every single thing on my face, and of course I want it to be long wearing. So let's go ahead and get started. So firstly, with clean skin, I'm going to be using the Dr. Belmer Cica Peptide Intense Mist, and I'm not gonna lie, I love a mist. I love the ritual of it, even if I'm like, I'm not totally sure what this mist is doing, but this one I can truly feel. I mentioned this in a favorites video a little while back, and not only is the mist itself really great, like the way it comes out is just, that's some good stuff. It actually is incredibly hydrating, but still really, really light. So it's hypoallergenic. It's all formulated with peptides to improve the skin elasticity, polyglycerin 3 that actually holds moisture, and urea, which helps to soften the skin and correct any uneven skin texture. And it really feels so softening and so plumping. Like I can feel it and see it as soon as I use it. And it's super versatile. So like I said, you can use it for skincare. Like today, I'm kind of using it to prep. You can finish your makeup with it. You can spray your face with it throughout the day. And the thing I like about it as well is because you're getting that really beautiful of a mist, you can put it over makeup so that it either helps to add moisture or blend things together, but you're not going to end up with those water droplets, because when you finish your makeup and sprayed your face with a mist and it deceives you like that, it's just not okay. So it really depends on your skin type, how much moisture you're looking to get, but it is quite versatile and very, very nice. Moving on to a serum, I use vitamin C. I recommend it to everybody. I think no matter your skin type, skin tone, skin concerns, it is such a great ingredient to incorporate into a skincare routine, best used during the day. And from Dr. Belmer, I have the Vitaserene Tone Smoothing Serum. I've really been loving this. It has an incredibly nice light texture, but again, getting that light hydration, my favorite key words. And this features vitamin C, of course, in addition to vitamin B5, vitamin B3. It helps to brighten your skin tone and smooth the pores. And we've also got hyaluronic acid in there, which I love, plus serene, this is a new ingredient to me, but it's an amino acid that has a light exfoliating effect, but it doesn't sting or leave my skin actually peeling. And I really love the lightweight texture of this. You can use it day or night, and it feels beautiful. Be sure to bring it down your neck as well. You may have seen when I used the mist, I brought that across the chest too, because it just gives like a nice light glow and just feels really nice and hydrating. And of course, if it wasn't obvious, all of these products play really nicely under makeup. Then we have the Dr. Belmer Cica Hydro Cream. This is so delightful. The texture of it is so interesting. It's almost bouncy. It's like a bouncy gel cream. It's really unique. I don't know that I've tried anything like it, and I feel like the majority of skin types would enjoy this. It's got 3 types of hyaluronic acid in there, so again, really great light hydration. But I will say, if you are super oily, you may want to maybe incorporate this at nighttime. It kind of depends on, if you're wearing a matte foundation or how you like your makeup to look and feel. I know texture is a big thing for those of us with oily skin. You never feel like anything is heavy, and not that this feels heavy, but it definitely gives you that nice plump dewiness. But I know that's not for everybody. But either way, it's something to incorporate into your routine, whether day or night. It's got a really, really great texture. You kind of got to touch it to feel it, but I really have been loving this, and I have been actually both using it day and night. So those are just 3 of the products that I've been loving from them. They've actually got a pretty hefty line that I would like to explore a little bit more, and the products are all formulated without artificial fragrance, without mineral oils, lots of great options for sensitive skin there. So you can purchase them in store or online from Nature Collection, so that will all be linked down below. And let's go ahead and get into the makeup. So my skin is feeling good. I'm not gonna use a primer today. Primer for me kind of depends on the day, depends on when I did my skincare, depends on a bunch of factors that I'm not completely sure of, but either way, I'm gonna skip it today. I'm gonna use the Shiseido Synchroskin Self-Refreshing Foundation. I still love this. I reviewed it at at some point. Time means nothing anymore, so I couldn't tell you exactly when, but either way, I've been using it fairly consistently ever since I got it. Then I'm gonna mix in, I took 2 pumps of the foundation, then I'm gonna put in a little bit of the Milani Soft Focus Glow Complexion Enhancer. I feel like this, it's not, I use maybe half a pump of it just to be safe. I feel like the combination is just really nice. The Shiseido is long wearing, and I would say is probably a soft matte, and then the Soft Focus just adds like, it thins out the formula a little bit. Not that it's thick, but I just want to go for something as natural as possible. And I know I've spoken about this in other routines, but when I have acne, I don't want things to look heavy or like I've got a mask. I'd rather just focus on the individual perpetrators on my face because I want to show off my freckles, and the rest of my skin like is in good condition, in my opinion. So yeah, and I'm using a sponge. This is not my normal sponge. This is from Wet n Wild, but Emily has started playing soccer. She's taken up a summer soccer league with my beauty sponges, and the one that I wanted to use today, I realized was kind of chewed up, and I didn't know she was into that, so still learning new stuff about her. And I like don't focus too much product on my nose because that's where my freckles are and it's fairly clear, and again on my forehead just kind of gets the leftovers. I'm going to use the accompanying concealer. This is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Concealer in the shade 303, and this is a great concealer, and I love it for the concealer itself, the formulation, and I love it for the shade. It's just a great shade. It's kind of neutral, a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but not a lot lighter. And I'm going to let that set, and then I'm going to do my brows. I've been doing my brows lately. This product is complicated. There's so many different options. This is the Velour Fluff and Brow Pencil, but I have been liking it. But I haven't had my brows done since February. Fill them in a little bit, but like barely. This is the Brow Balm. I used this in a recent Get Ready With Me and talked about it a little bit more. So it's kind of got like this balmy texture to add some volume and some hold, and it's not super pigmented, which is very important to me. I don't know, they're just starting to look quite unkept, which is not unreasonable because they are unkept. So just a little something something. Now for concealer, just going to blend out the bit I put on my chin and my forehead. That is like, you know, it's kind of highlighting. It's not going to make, because the concealer is not super light, it's not going to make the hugest difference, but I feel like it adds just a little bit of definition and contour slash highlight to my face without it looking like contour slash highlight. Or maybe I'll just do it because it's fun. I've been thinking a lot about that kind of stuff lately. The amount of ritual and nostalgia and things attached to makeup, I think, is very special. But yeah, just blending out my concealer with my fingers and now the brush. I find setting my concealer helps keep the coverage. If I don't, almost no matter the concealer, it disappears. I don't understand these people who put on a concealer and then blend it out and then immediately blend it out with a beauty blender. I'm like, how? Like, that's just not... That's just, I can't. It disappears. To set my under eye, I still love this guy. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in medium. I did a video a little while back on my favorite under eye powders. But I think like for people, especially who have oily skin, thinking about your skincare is so important. I know I talk about this often, but it's just something that I didn't know about, and I still feel like even though skincare is so popular, oily skin, the idea of hydrating it and stuff is not really in the mainstream yet. I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Complexion Powder in Warm Sand. I really like using a little bit less liquid foundation or a tinted moisturizer, and then building up a little more coverage with my powder. And this is one that I know is going to add a little more coverage and going to help me with longevity. And if your foundation isn't necessarily a great shade, like I actually love the shade of that's Shiseido one, but it'll help even things out a little bit more. Lost my train of thought. And I'm using a fairly fluffy brush because I don't want a ton of coverage. And like you can see with that skincare, while this isn't like a bunch of matte products, with the skincare and the soft focus, my skin looks glowy and healthy even though I have no bronzer on, I haven't used any spray over this, no highlighter. Things look quite natural, so it's like, it's good to have a good skincare base and then nice light layers. Because this video is more about foundation, I am just going to do a very light eye look with the products I have in front of me. No actual, what's the word? Eyeshadow. I'm so used to wearing old pants when I'm filming, and I just took a brush to clean it and just wiped it on my leg, and I'm like, oh, look, my new loungewear. Finally bought a little new loungewear. Gonna take my Rimmel bronzer and just run it through the crease of my eye. And it's a pretty fluffy brush just to add a little definition, a little bit of warmth, and it's already right here in front of me. You know, I'm not grabbing for an eyeshadow primer, I'm not grabbing for a brown eyeshadow. I used my concealer and my bronzer. And then I'm going to be wearing this blush too, so I figured I'll put that on my eyes a little bit. Just gently sweep it over the lid. Not using my fingers yet, but I think I'm about to. Not looking for a ton of color. Ooh, this is actually quite pretty. For mascara, I have 3 of them. And no one's shocked. This is the this is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer. This has been my favorite mascara combo of the moment. Then I'm going to go in with the Falsies Lash Lift, and I'm going to show you the exact amount of time that I wait to put on my mascara after my primer, because I get a lot of questions about that, about people buying mascara primers and they're not sure. So whatever span of time that has been is what I wait. Oh! Trying to be instructional and I jabbed myself. But I know a lot of you have tried lash primers and you're like, oh, I thought it was a scam, but it actually does something. And yeah, I use like a oil cleanser or an actual eye makeup remover or something, and I have no trouble removing the mass amounts. I know. For my bronzer, if you can tell, this is the Rimmel Stay Matte Bronzer. I used that as a palette recently and have been meaning to clean it and clearly didn't. This is a bronzer, well, it's actually a face powder that I've been using as a bronzer for quite some time now, and I use it a lot, and I feel like I've barely even cracked the surface, which is great economically. But it's such a great shade. It is buildable and blendable, so keep that in mind if you have trouble finding bronzer shades, to check out face powders, because in general there's not going to be really much formulation difference. For my blush, going back in with the Daydream blush from NYX. This is the one I have on my lids. It really ties it together when you've got the monochromatic without being like super matchy-matchy, I think. Okay, just going to put these brows into place. 24-hour brow setter. I've been singing a lot, well, not a lot, but a little bit on Instagram, because taking videos of Emily and Rue fighting, and then I've created this theme song for them, I guess you could call it. And as they're fighting or just sitting awkwardly next to each other, I'm like, best friends, they are the best friends. It's funny because they're not. I want to have the glowiest goldenness going on right now. So this is the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter in Champagne, but using it very lightly because my skin already does have some glow to it. I just highlighted that pimple. Sometimes you just gotta highlight the pimple because it's right in the way. I could have tried to avoid it, but, you know, it's there. Just gonna take a smidge more blush and blend it all together. I don't mind putting highlighter over pimples. I know some people don't like it. I've gotten that comment before. There are some highlighters as well that are gonna be more texture friendly. I've done a video on that, but sometimes it's like, you know, meh. Before my lip, I'm going to double up on sprays here. So I'm going to go back in with the Cica Peptide Intense Mist. Just lightly for hydration, kind of blend everything together. Depending on your skin needs, like you could probably stop there, but because it is 4,000 degrees right now, I'm going to go in with the all-nighter as well. So now, with this wet face, while I let it set, I'm going to use the Marcel Forever Sharp. This is a waterproof liner from them in the shade Brown Nude, which sounds right up my alley. Really nice kind of creamy formula. I think it's going to quickly become one of those colors that I wear all the time. And if you have super oily skin, hard to talk while I'm doing this. If you have super oily skin and you want to double up on the mists, like the Cica and the All Nighter or like another setting spray, that's meant to help keep things in place. Once your face dries, you can go in with a little bit of powder down the T-zone. From Cheekbone Beauty, I'm going to be using one of my favorite shades from their Sustain lipstick collection in Kea, I believe it's pronounced. This is a great kind of peachy nude-ish, maybe like a rosy nude. And because, you know, 3 mascaras, 3 lip products, we gotta keep it consistent, I'm gonna finish with a peachy gloss from Buxom. I love this one in Mykonos Sunrise. I'm actually gonna take my powder brush with no added powder on it and just kind of reduce a little bit of the shine I've got going on from the sprays. But make sure your face is dry. So here is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out Dr. Belmar products down below. Let me know if you've tried anything from them before. I'd love some more recommendations. But if you would like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!